This video is sponsored by no one.
Hey guys, Movie or Buzz here, back with another video. So as all you know, I live in the San Fernando Valley.
I get it.
Something I've always wanted to do is to go to those movie theaters that host movie premieres, and being a giant film buff, no pun intended, and an aspiring filmmaker, I had to go to those theaters where the movies are premiered, where the stars gather up, basically where the magic happens. So I started the challenge where I would see a movie in every Hollywood theater and share the experience. It took me almost a year to complete this challenge to share the experience, and I hope you enjoy. So on June 5th, 2021, I started my journey by going to Quentin Tarantino's theater, the New Beverly Cinema, and watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I took my dad with me because we are both big Tarantino fans. No pun intended. I was excited to show my dad this movie because although this was not the first time watching this movie, it is a better experience when you watch it on film. They had a little merch stand outside where I got this button of brandy on it, and as we were heading inside, the lobby was small but had so much memorabilia for the movie as well as other movies. They had these little calendars that show upcoming screenings in the theater. Although the snack bar was small and old-fashioned, at least the prices were very cheap and the hot dogs were very good. The screen was kind of small and so were the seats, but hey, that's on me. They played a 60s radio station before the movie started. There was a guy who works there that talked about more upcoming screenings. Then in place of trailers, they showed us clips of Bounty Law that I have never seen. I guess it's probably a special feature on Blu-ray or something. Then they showed trailers for other 60s movies such as The Great Escape. The movie was so good and it was great to watch it on film. My dad loved it as well and he believed the film improved the experience. Would I come back to this theater? Definitely, but I want to come back when Tarantino screens his last film in the future. And hopefully he's there for a Q&A or a meet and greet.
You guys are filling it out on a weekday.
Fast forward to August 21st, 2021, I went to West Hollywood to watch Free Guy at the Regency Brewing Theater. If this theater looks familiar to anyone, it's because this theater was featured in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when Sharon Tate watches her movie The Wrecking Crew. Anyway, this theater, although it has a lot of history, I really didn't care that I was there. The theater itself wasn't really big and the designs made it pop, but I wasn't really impressed. The movie itself wasn't as bad, unfortunately. My time there was ruined when a bunch of UCLA students came last minute and sat around my personal space. Like, really guys, you have this whole theater to sit anywhere and you sat next to me and in front of me. What made it worse was they were talking like 50% of the movie. Like, come on, this is a theater, not a bar. Will I be coming back to the theater? Probably never again. On August 31st, 2021, I went to Hollywood Boulevard. It was my first time going there in a long time, and boy does it smell like piss. I went to watch Soul at the El Capitan Theater, and unfortunately, I messed up. I arrived late because of traffic, and I didn't get to record the interior of the theater. And someone once told me that they do performances and giveaways before the movie starts, but Soul was a movie I watched at home when the theaters were closed, and this was my chance to watch Soul in theaters. It's a great movie, and I believe the big screen and nice surround sound enhanced the movie, but my time at the theater wasn't bad. I guess because they weren't selling a lot of popcorn, the snack bar gave out buckets for free. I got to watch 2 Pixar Spark shorts before the movie started. 9 out of 20, something to be exact. I did decide that day to go back to the El Capitan another time to get a better experience, but until then, I was going to continue my challenge at another theater. On September 30th, 2021, I went to the Regency Village Theater in West Hollywood to watch Dear Evan Hansen. This theater was across the street from the Brewing Theater and I always wanted to go there. This theater is notorious for its premieres. I remember passing by this theater for premieres such as Into the Spider-Verse, The Emoji Movie, and Knives Out. I didn't get to see any celebrities, but these are giant press events and red carpet events. Hopefully one day I get to be a part of one. This theater is big and gorgeous. The architecture on the outside really makes the theater pop. The interior gives a classic vibe. This theater features a balcony as well. Since it was a weekday, there wasn't really a lot of people in the audience, so it was me and like 5 other people. It was quiet and that's how I like going to the movies. I guess what made the theater going experience better were the classic movie scores that played before the movie started. This movie was presented in THX Ultimate Cinema and it made the movie look better. Unfortunately guys, Dear Evan Hansen is not a good movie and so many people who saw the movie have the same feelings I do. While the songs were pretty good and the sound gave me chills, the performances, cinematography, and story were pretty bad. So to make up for it, I decided to go back for a 70mm version of Licorice Pizza in December, and it was way better. Plus the theater was like half full, and to laugh along with the audience made it better. March 1st, 2022, I went to an IMAX preview event for The Batman at the TCL Chinese Theater, and oh my god, this has to be one of the best theaters I've went to. This theater feels like so rich and classic. When I stepped in, I felt like I was a part of history. The design was incredible, the screen was enormous, the sound was incredible. The audience as well made it altogether one of the best theater going experience I've ever had. I sat in the front row because those were the only seats that were left, but I still had fun. But the stairs were a bitch. I also lost my breath going up and down. I especially liked checking out some of the cement prints from filmmakers and actors in the front. I don't think there's another theater I'd rather watch the Batman at than this one. The audience was so enthusiastic.
Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy The Batman here on the big screen on the TCL Chinese Theater.
They display costumes from previous Batman movies in the front. Everyone got these Batman comic books. I even got my parking validated. Nice. If you ever get a chance, go check out a movie in this theater. You don't want to miss it. March 7th, 2022, I went to the landmark Westwood, and why did I put this theater in my video? Well, because it may not be the biggest theater for Hollywood premieres, but it has a history of premieres of indie movies, and I couldn't appreciate a movie theater for doing that. This is also the same theater I go watch The Room, the same theater that I get my audience reactions from.
If you wanted to play a character from another movie, who would you play? This is a good one. As you know, Joker, that's on my list.
And yes, I'll be doing another audience reaction soon. Calm yourself. Anyway, I went to the landmark Westwood to watch The Power of the Dog, and Jane Campion was there for a Q&A. It's amazing that I was able to be in the front row of a pre-Oscar winner. This movie was great overall. They displayed props and costumes, and we even got these programs from Netflix. And finally, for my last stop, I went back to the El Capitan Theater to watch Turning Red, and this was an improvement from the last time I went to watch Soul. Unfortunately, this time I had to buy my popcorn, but that's fine. I sat in the balcony this time so I could get a better view of the experience. I really like how they decorated the theater for this event. It looked great. There was a DJ who was keeping us entertained for a while. I like how he was going hard for an audience of like 30-40 people.
Up here! It's me, DJ Red. Hey! Oh my
Then this girl came on stage and was giving us like a dance tutorial. Then she was giving away prizes. The whole thing was cringy, but who am I kidding? This is pretty much for kids. Turning Red was a cute movie, but it's mostly for kids than adults in my opinion. I would, however, come back to this theater again, but not for like a Disney or a Pixar movie, but mostly for like Marvel or Star Wars next time. I heard those are way bigger events than anything that the Walt Disney Animation Studios or Pixar movies have. As a movie lover who pursues filmmaking, this challenge gave me a drive in hopes that I could premiere my own movie in one of these theaters. It was such an experience to step in these theaters, and hopefully you guys can check it out for yourself. Please go watch the movies that I watched for this challenge, but not, you know. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, help me get to 400 subscribers, and I'll see you guys next time. Movie or Bust out.